Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 2 of The Journey. I hope you guys got a great insight into where the name DMR comes from episode number 1. If you hadn't had the chance to look at that video, make sure you go back and get a really good understanding of where the name DMR comes from. What I'm going to talk about in episode 2 is my journey, start to move into the journey on how I started DMR. Before that, talk about my school, coming out of school, overcoming a 22 kilo weight loss journey. I was following a football dream, and then we start to roll into how I really found my passion for the health industry. So I left school in 2014. School was a huge struggle for me. I got the dot, so the mystery mark. I had no ambition of going to university, nor did I want to be a tradesman. And when we're in school, we get given this belief that our only 2 options in life is to go to university or to get a trade. And that's unfortunately the way and the pressures that a lot of teenagers get at school, is because they feel like they have to get this HSC result to go to university. And if you want to go to university and fulfill that, go to university and fulfill what you want to do. But if it's not what you want to do, you don't have to. And in school, I found it very hard because I internally and subconsciously, I didn't want to do those things. So, and the way that school taught was very, very hard for me to be able to understand. I'm very hands-on and vision-based, and the way that school's curriculum works was not useful for me at all. And I felt dumb, with my marks, and would subconsciously beat myself up for that. So when I left school in 2014, I didn't really have much clarity of where I was heading. The only thing I knew was football, and that was my dream, was to play professional football. When I left school, you go through that party phase, and I was 22 kilos overweight, and I wanted to play professional football. So I would pursue wanting to make that dream happen, and knew that I had to lose the weight. So I went on a 22 kilo weight loss journey. Now, it was a very, very unhealthy weight loss journey, so much sacrifice. And I took so many key lessons away from that journey that I now implement into my life now, about having that balance and being able to, reward yourself and to spend time with family. And what I did was I just put myself in this bottomless pit that was all about training and losing weight, to the point where mum would ask me to eat because I got so skinny, which was abnormal for me because I was always a bigger kid growing up. And what happened was, it ended up getting to the point where I had a massive fight with my parents, and I knew that something had to change. This football dream, I just wasn't feeling it as much anymore, so I'd put so much energy and effort into it, and I had noticed the impact that had on everyone around me. So what happened was, I got in a fight with my parents, punched a hole in the wall, and ended up going over to my mate's place, having a chat with his mum. And that was, I guess, the epiphany moment where I realised that football probably wasn't the thing I was after. I was more looking after the title of what a professional footballer had. And then from there, what happened was, I got an injury playing local footy. I wasn't successful in those trials to make it professionally, and started to really look around of where I was heading in my life. And, that's a really tough age group for a lot of people, because we've been in so routine for so many years at school, and then to be able to come out, we often feel rushed. And I ended up doing some labouring work. I was doing some labouring work there for a while, for about 3 or 4 months, and got to the point I'd become quite depressed. I went to Headspace and was really struggling because I felt that I wasn't aligning to my true purpose, and I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. Football had just fallen through. I was waking up doing trade work, and it just wasn't fulfilling for me. And it was a really tough journey to be able to find that next step, which is what we dive into in episode 3, guys. So that's episode 2, and going through my weight loss journey and how I lost the 22 kilos, training 3 times a day. It was just so silly, and the lessons that I've taken away from that I implement now into DMR and helping people overcome their weight loss journey on how it can be sustainable. So that's episode 2, guys. That's my pathway out of school. Nice and quick. These are short episodes, like I said. And then in episode 3, we're going to dive into my mentor, Andrew Papp, my mentor that gave me the drive to want to open up my own business, how that all came about, and starting to give you guys an insight into the first initial steps into DMR and how it came off the ground and up and running.